Hi, it's Rob here with another video, and thanks for joining me. I wanted to jump on a bit of a thread that's been started by John, the digital gramophone. I saw a video he did a couple of days ago where he was talking about artists who they've done a number of albums and you've come to realise that you only need one. Not a greatest hit, it's a studio album. So I thought it was a good idea, good video by John. So I've been through my collection and I've picked 10 albums out here by some of these artists. You know, some people are complete on, don't be offended, this is, it's just my opinion. So let's go through the 10, see what you think. So the first one I'm going to choose was Ian Dury. So whether that be Ian Dury or Ian Dury and the Blockheads, New Boots and Panties, his debut from 1977. So my sister had a copy of this, and when she used to go out, I used to play it because they didn't have many records in 77. I was only like 12. And Wake Up and Make Love to Me was always one that I really liked. Clever Trevor, Sweet Jean Vincent. And although, Ian Dury's released a lot of albums, this is the only one that I really reach for. This is the only one I need. It's a classic. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. Certainly one of my favourites from 77. But it's the only Ian Dury album that I need. New Boots and Panties. Second one I want to show is by Adam and the Ants. Kings of the Wild Frontier from 1980/81. Adam and the Ants was so popular. Ant Music, Dog Eat Dog, Kings of the Wild Frontier. Of course went on to Prince Charming, Stand and Deliver. But if I want to listen to Adam and the Ants, I never pick up any of his other... I mean, I've got Prince Charming, but I never really play it. I haven't got any of his solo albums. I've not really got any interest. But I always, nostalgia-wise, even though I was into sort of two-tone and mod music, Echo and the Bunnymen, stuff like that, I still loved Adam and the Ants. And Kings of the Wild Frontier is such a classic album. But it's the only one that I need from Adam and the Ants. Now, when John did his video, this album was one that came to mind straight away. The Lexicon of Love by ABC. Produced by Trevor Horn. 4 great singles. All of My Heart being my favourite. Poison Arrow, Look of Love, Tears Are Not Enough. But there's more to this album than those 4 singles. Show Me, Valentine's Day, Many Happy Returns. Such a strong album. Beauty Stab was a follow-up, bit of a flop. How to Be a Millionaire, I think, was the one after that. They all contain some good tracks, but front to back, this is a bit of a classic from 1982, and it's the only ABC album that I need. Fourth one I want to show, really successful album from 1981, Non-Stop Erotic Cabaret by Soft Cell. So nearly everybody that I knew had a copy of this album. But I've heard the other Soft Cell albums and they don't hold any interest for me. This is the only one that I need when it comes to Soft Cell. So it was such a sort of nostalgic album for me. This is one that my sister had. Bedsitter I always loved. Tainted Love, of course. Sail or Wave Goodbye. Sex Dwarf. Frustration. Secret Life. Bit of a classic from 81. It's the only Soft Cell album that I've got any interest in having. Fifth one is You Can't Hide Your Love Forever by Orange Juice, the debut. So Orange Juice released 2 albums in 82. Rip It Up and this one. Orange Juice have only actually done 3 albums, so there's not much to choose from. But this has always been my favourite. This is the one I always reach for. Contains felicity and love, falling and laughing, tender object. Bit of a mystery really why Orange Juice never sort of went on from this promising start, and you know, they sort of split up pretty quickly. Edwyn Collins had a decent solo career, but you know, nothing earth-shattering. But in 1982, sort of journalists were getting very excited about Orange Juice, and after this debut, rightly so. But yeah, this is the only Orange Juice album that I reach for. You Can't Hide Your Love Forever from 82. The next one is, so John mentioned some sort of newer artists who had released a few albums, and there was only one sort of album that he liked by them. And I've got a couple of examples here. So I've got An Awesome Wave by AltJ from 2012. So this contains, I really love this album when it came out. My son, me and my son went to see them in 2013. Dissolve Me, Matilda, Breeze Blocks. I've heard the other albums, and although I'm not going to say they're you know, rubbish or anything, they just don't do what this one does to me. I mean, this won the Mercury Prize as well. And at the time, I remember seeing them live, just thinking these were going to be, you know, like Radiohead or something, but they've just not fulfilled that early promise. But An Awesome Wave from 2012 is the only AltJ album that I need. And another sort of band from a similar period, this album came out in 2010, Tourist History by Two Door Cinema Club. So Two Door Cinema Club are from Northern Ireland, and when this was released, I think it sold 5,000 copies in the first week, and then about 60 weeks later it reached its highest chart position, and it sold like 350,000 copies. And I know that because it was a drip, you know, in the music press at the time. And my son and all his friends absolutely loved this band, you know, and I was like curious about them, and I really got into them. The opening track, Cigarettes in a Theatre, Undercover Martin, This Is a Life. I'm not going to say it had an Arctic Monkeys feel, but they had a lot of energy. It's just excellent album. The follow-up, I think it was called Beacon, sold really well, but just didn't have the same magic. Game Show, the next album, just didn't have the same appeal. But this is an absolute classic from 2010. Tourist History by Two Door Cinema Club. 3 to go, and Big Country and The Crossing. So I can remember watching Top of the Pops in 1983 like you did when you were a teenager in the UK. And I saw Big Country, and I'm thinking, that looks like Stuart Adamson out of the Skids. So I was really into the Skids. But they disappeared in the early 80s. But Stuart Adamson came back with this. In 83, Big Country are really successful. Fields of Fire, In a Big Country, Chance. But there's more than that on here. 1,000 Stars, Harvest Home. I don't have any other Big Country albums. I think there's about 8 more. Every album that they did after this sort of just slipped a notch. None of them could match this. If you want a Big Country album, The Crossing from 83 is the only one you need. And from Liverpool, we've got the Icicle Works self-titled debut from 84. So the Icicle Works have done 5 albums, and none of them from, you know, what I've heard, are a patch on this one, the debut. Contains Love is a Wonderful Colour, which is just one of the great sort of anthems of 84, and there was a few in 84. Birds Fly, Whisper to a Scream, it's another single. But they couldn't have another big hit. They tried, released a lot of singles, but Ian McNabb went on to have a solo career. But the Icicle Works just never sort of bettered this. So if you want an Icicle Works album, this is the one to grab. And finally, a CD is the Twang. And I always get this one mixed up. Love it when you feel like this. So I should have showed this on my CDs that I want on vinyl. You can pick this up on vinyl, it's been reissued. I need to get a copy of it because this is one of my favourite albums this century. But the Twang have done maybe 6 albums and none of them are anything like this debut from 2007. Reached number 3 in the UK charts. This has got like a baggy feel to it. From Birmingham, bit of a Manchester vibe. Songs about broken relationships. So, you know, something I'm an expert on. Two Lovers is a great song. Either Way and Wide Awake, they were the singles. I was in HMV and I was at one of those booths and I saw that CD and it made me investigate it, and I stood and listened to most of the album and then bought the CD. I wish I bought the album on vinyl, but yeah, just a great album, but it's the only album really that you need by the Twang. So 10 albums, 10 artists. You might disagree, you might agree. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thanks for watching and bye for now.